Wisconsin, north side of Milwaukee. Shout out to far, far north side of Atlanta, Gwinnett County. Shout out to all my Clark Atlanta Panthers. This is your boy Jay Sproul, movies, music, sports, and life. And I'm going to talk about Atlanta, not the city, but the TV show. Um, it's probably a controversial opinion, but I think this is the best show to ever come on TV. And I never really anticipated Atlanta really even being that good. I even kind of hated on the idea when I first heard about it, because most of the stuff from Atlanta was always the negative stereotypes. Shorty Low, rest in peace. Thank God they didn't put his show out, but he was gonna do a reality show about him and him having 12 or 13 kids or whatever it was. Then they also canceled a sorority show because the sororities felt like it put a negative image on them, and that was based out of Atlanta. Then they canceled a stripper reality show for the same reasons. Love and hip hop was kind of negative, so it seemed like everything coming out of Atlanta was just negative. So this show was the first time that they showed kind of more of a realistic view and just not glamorizing it so much. Not not just strippers and rappers. Even though ironically the show is about a rapper named Paperboy, they don't really focus on him rapping that much. They focus on life. So let's get into these episodes. They gave us episode 1 and 2, and the thing that I like about Atlanta that I hope that y'all also enjoy and also notice. There's a word in Hollywood in movies and TV called exposition. And for those of you who know, you don't really have to be a theater or acting industry person to notice. If you were up on your honors English or AP English when you were in high school, exposition is simply just explaining something. And exposition can come off really fake, especially in superhero movies. In 1795, an ancient mystic curse was lifted, and Hawkman and Superman were the only persons that was prophesied who could, you know, all that stuff. Atlanta don't got time for none of that. Atlanta starts us off episode 1 with a little boy doing the hype. That's what the kids call it. They call it hype. Doing the hype dance because they said that their class was going to go on a field trip to see Black Panther 2. His mom got so mad that basically she told protective services they could just come take him. But the funniest thing about episode 1 is it's called Three Slaps. So the grandfather came with his mama. The little boy name is Laquarius, and he, the grandfather came. He didn't say nothing in the meeting with the principal and with the guidance counselor. But when Mama put him up against his locker and made him do the dance, do the worm, all the dances, do make it whip, make it nay nay, all the dances that you doing to show off for your white classmates, doing right now for me in the hallway. And after she made the boy do the dances, the grandpa just leaned over to it. Was he smacked his grandson 3 times, but it was like the slowest 3 smacks you ever seen. The dude, Donald Glover is crazy, dude. Yeah, just real slow smacks. But yeah, he got protective. Child Protective Services came. Oh, I forgot what it's called in Georgia, but you know what it is when they come, and they took him. Got adopted by a white lesbian couple who already had, I want to say, four other kids. Now, if you are a student of the news and current events, popular culture, you will pick up right away that that couple that just didn't come out of Donald Glover's imagination. There was a white lesbian couple that were married by the name of Jennifer and Sarah Hart. They adopted six kids. All six of the kids was African American, and they smooth drove off a cliff. I want to say it was in California. Killed both of themselves and those six black babies. So I'm so tired of a particular race of people complaining about woke this that woke this woke that identity politics this identity politics that. I've just kind of had it. I've had my fill. I've had it up to here with them always complaining about that. But Donald Glover is one of the only people that can give us a voice on national television and criticize that. He's basically criticizing Madonna. Um, there's a couple other white celebrities that are adopting black kids and basically not respecting their heritage of who they are. Um, One of the young ladies was making a little black boy wear a dress out in public. I mean, just you know. So I think that was his commentary on that. The episode was decent. It was a little weird, but Atlanta's weird. They never really explain a lot of stuff. They're never gonna explain why we started with this. But if I had to theorize, I'm gonna say that this is the one piece of Atlanta we're going to give you because we're not going to be in Atlanta. We're not even going to be in the United States. We're going to be in Europe. So they probably felt that it wasn't fair to just go to another country and stay in another country without providing a little bit of context or basing the original concept of the show being in Atlanta. So even if it's not me, Vanessa, Paperboy, and Darius, I'm still gonna talk to you as my audience from the perspective of a little black teenager that got adopted by some white women that didn't season their food and was trying to make them sing slave songs while they worked. It's rough. It's a rough commentary, but Donald Glover's the only person, Childish Gambino, that would even do that. So salute to that episode. Uh, it doesn't match up with episode one of season one, and it definitely doesn't match up to Alligator Man with Cat Williams, the first episode. However, we get over to Europe, and this is where things get interesting. Um, Darius, like once again, when we get into the notion of them not explaining a whole lot of things, like nobody is really explaining how come Ern, Darius, and Paperboy aren't together. We ended up finding out that Paperboy is in jail. We didn't find out what he got arrested for, but that makes sense. But van on a van, it was just weird. It's like how did they get in contact with each other? Um, Darius is uncomfortable with small talk, so he asks about their baby. I forgot the little girl's name, but he kind of says, "So are you and Ern gonna get back together and pop out another baby?" She says, "I have a boyfriend." So that lets you know that there's really been some distance between Ern and Van since we last saw them. But my question to you, my fellas, if you had a girl in Atlanta or New York or Los Angeles, wherever you from, and your girl is going to leave the United States to go to Europe where her ex-boyfriend is, I'm not sure how many of y'all would be with that. I certainly wouldn't be with that. So uh that that needed some explaining, but of course this is Atlanta, they're not gonna explain. Um Earn asked for a $20,000 advance for Paperboy's performance for the night. However, it's customary that you pick that up after you perform. But Earn didn't tell the promoter that I need this money to bail him out. He didn't say, that the headline of your show tonight is in jail. So he gave him the money, no problem. Um, in jail, Paperboy, it's almost like a studio apartment. It ain't nothing like American jail. It was very nice to the point. Once he found out that his was there and he could check out, he just said, "Hey, yeah, but I just want to take a nap. Wake me up in about an hour. Could you turn up the heat a little bit?" Paperboy just smooth went to sleep. His guard kind of seemed like a fanboy, so apparently it feels like Paperboy is a bigger deal in Europe than he is at home. And I even had some experience with that. Yeah, they just love our music in Europe. The people who we make it for in the United States. I can't explain why that is, but salute to them. They always support that music very seriously. Um, Switch back to Darius and Van again. They're at what appears to be the equivalent of a thrift store. Now, keep in mind, they are in Amsterdam, so it's not Goodwill, it's just a thrift store. And Van tries on one coat. Darius, that definitely has gasoline on it. Darius is crazy, but man trusts him, and she puts that coat back. She tries on another coat. She says, "I think I'm going to take this one." But then she looks, and there's an address in the coat pocket. And then Darius asks her what that is. She tells her. She tells him, and he said, "You know what this means? It's destiny. We got to follow that address." She says, "I'm down." Because we come to find out Vanessa doesn't know what she's trying to do. I think she mentioned she was trying to get a job in Atlanta somewhere. She got turned down for the job. She just said, "I'm gonna just go to Europe." So I don't know what kind of money she has to do that. And they don't even make it clear. It would make sense. Earn, by way of managing Paperboy, probably has the money to send for her to come out there. They never really established that. So I don't know how she got out to Europe. It's just weird. So they got this 6 to 8 to 9 passenger van or whatever, and all these people start coming out of this apartment. Now keep in mind, Darius and Van are just going with the flow, so they don't really know what's going on. But take his just follow destiny, follow nature, and it's pretty clear that this is some type of cult. cult is. And there's a black man laying down who looks like he's preparing to die. So in America, we would consider that hospice. And you go see the person and visit them because you know they don't have long to live. But here is some type of religious rite, some type of religious ceremony. And theirs is so crazy, as you know. And Vanessa just says, "How high are you?" She don't say, "What are you talking about?" Like she don't say, "For real." She just goes straight to, "How high are you?" He says, about a 4 slide into a 5." So Darius is so crazy. Not only will he not question you if you ask him how high he is, he'll give you the scale. He within his circumference, he can give you his rating on a scale of 1 to 10 of how high he is. I mean, without even thinking to be offended. Darius is the man. But I guess the part that's crazy is that Vanessa kind of takes the lead. She doesn't know this man, but maybe she feels it's therapeutic to hold his hand and tell him it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And you know, I almost had like a little tear jerk right here because it felt like Vanessa was transferring whatever stress, whatever she was worrying about in America when she came over there. It seemed like she was allowing this person to kind of take over some of that stress. In her telling him to just let it go to be okay, she was also telling herself. And for some reason, in typical Atlanta fashion, after she told him it's gonna be okay, and let go of his hand, they pressed the button and something came down. It's just like a plastic covering, and then the dude started convulsing and jumping, and they killed him. And Van is sitting there in shock, horrified, but that's just how Atlanta is. So have noticed that throughout Amsterdam, there's some type of tradition going on where everybody's wearing blackface. And they're not feeling it, but, you know, in terms of daily society, what can I really say or do about it? But once they get to the concert where they're supposed to perform, and all of Paperboy's fans are wearing blackface and fake afros, Paperboy just told Earn, man, tell him I ain't doing this show. And Earn told the guy, yeah, Paperboy got sick, so I just fill out the insurance waiver. And the way it works in the business is that every show that you do has insurance, so that if the artist doesn't perform, you get back the money that you were supposed to pay them, plus, if I remember it correctly, um, you basically get a full house in terms of what the revenue would be. So they're basically paying you as if it was a sold out show. Um, so in those cases, in the event that the show was not sold out, you make a little bit of money. But in this case, I remember the promoter telling him the show was sold out. So then it's a wash. Even with the insurance covering it, you don't make no money. The show is sold out anyway, you know. Um, but yeah, the promoter basically wanted to kill Earn and told him like you trying to play me? You trying to play me? And Earn is kind of easing his way out. So he chases him And in typical Atlanta fashion, I guess the all black people look alike. He's turning people around with the blackface on. He just starts pummeling this dude, rocking this dude's face with lefts and rights. Like, why are you making me do this to you? When clearly it was a European guy with blackface on. I guess that was their ironic way of saying we all look alike. So, am I slightly disappointed? Yeah, because this is, like I said, like, I'm a complete fan when it comes to this show, man. I love the show. And first episode wasn't great. I did kind of have the feeling that with them being in Europe, I feel like they was gonna have to work a lot harder for the joke. You know what I'm saying? If that guy Clark County would have been on the tour with them, he provides something. Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. He provides something that I think they could feed off of. And I even hated that dude who beat up Earn. I forgot his name. Him being alone would have added something to it, but I don't know. I'm not gonna get an episode of thumbs down. I kind of gotta give it one of these, but I want it to be thumbs up every time I see it, and this was not quite there. But like I'm saying, they've been gone for a long time. Hopefully, if I know this show like I think I know it, it'll turn back around next week and pick right up. But since I love this show, I also love interacting with people who watch the show. Whether you just want to comment of what you thought of the episode tonight, or if you are a YouTube content creator who also reviews the show, just let me know in the comments that you also review the show on your channel. And probably tonight I'm just be looking for a whole bunch of new people that I never met before who reviewed the show. And I usually keep in touch with those people. Shout out to Broken Robot 3000. He's probably the best person in the world when it comes to breaking this show down. So I'll be very interested in seeing what he had to say. Jay Spruill, movies, music, sports, and life. We out.